Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just can't get away from Brad's tattoo. I mean, this is a lot of people don't understand. When I first floated the idea of Starlink satellites, I remember talking about it. In fact, I'll show you. Here's a clip from me. When I first brought this up, that I thought that Starlink satellites had to do with XRP, even my close friends in XRP land thought that was going a little far out on a limb. This is me from 2020. Listen to this. Oh boy, they were saying I was crazy. They were saying, oh, you don't know what he's talking about. That's lunacy, whatever. But what didn't make sense to me is if you're gonna bank the unbanked, and that you're gonna do commercials that show astronauts beaming money down to Earth, you gotta have a way to do it. How do you do that?
To you about
this is me in 2020.
Starlink. Now, Starlink is a program of Elon Musk's SpaceX, and it's a program to put satellites in space. Now, many of you may think that this idea, what I think Starlink is about is two things.
Well, I think it's about multiple things now, but I think that one of the things is having nodes on satellites across multiple countries so that we can have a trustless financial system. But it's also about having internet access so that you can bank the unbanked who don't have internet access, and you need them to have it on a phone, a mobile device that you can beam the signal down to, and then you have yourself unbanked people, and they're all of a sudden banked. If you look at Brad Garlinghouse's tattoo closely, this ring right here, look at the dots. I've seen those dots. I think those dots are Starlink. Don't take my word for it. This is actually someone looking up into the night sky, because this is something I've covered before too. This is actually somebody looking into the night sky, and you'll see the Starlink. It's a trail of satellites. These are Starlink satellites. This is what it looks like. Right here. See them? And I think that's exactly what he's got on his arm. Look, I've said for a long, long time that I believe that both XRP and XLM, I think there's a reason that they have an X in them. I think there's a reason that Stellar had a constellation on their website for so long. If you looked at Ripple's website for so long, it was a globe. Well, I'll show you what it was. It was this globe, wrong thing. It was a globe just like this. It had this design, and this is just a Starlink logo somebody put over the top of it. But that's what Ripple's website looked like. And I used to comment about it, about how the nodes, you could see that the nodes were coming up, and it looked like they were coming up into low orbit. That's what this has always been about. How do you have how do you get China, Russia, and all these countries that have nukes to go into a new financial system, and where everybody can trust each other across the world? Well, they have to have nodes in Russia and China. They have to have them underground. They have to have them on land in their financial institutions, their government institutions, and they also have to have them on their satellites, and the U.S. would too. This way, everybody is honest, because you have what I have termed controlled decentralization. In other words, here, you get 100 for your country, we have 100 over here. You get X number on your satellites, we get X number on our satellites. So this is connecting the dots, literally, folks. All right? And I don't think I'm wrong on this one. A lot of people said I was, but I don't think I'm wrong. Darren is a pretty darn sharp guy, okay? He says the riddle is easy, Starlink plus XRP. In August 1971, the U.S. national debt was $406 billion. In September 2023, $33 trillion. He put billion. It's $33 trillion. With all these new dollars circulating the globe economy, who is better off for it? Well, I'll tell you who's better off. First, I'll show you. Actually, the people that own gold, and in my opinion, XRP, are going to be better off. That's why Miles Franklin is one of my new sponsors. You can use code DAI Gold. Info at Miles Franklin or call 952-929-7006. Tell them DAI Gold is your code. And also, I wanted to just show you this about Peter St. Onge. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Is the government lying about inflation?
Yes.
The Big Mac says yes. One of the more spirited debates these past 2 years has been government statistics on inflation. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has one set of official numbers, but people posting screenshots of their grocery bills or health insurance say it is a lot higher.
And the total that I spent was $746.55. In August of 22, I also did not have a Walmart Plus membership. I joined in September, the month after this.
Anyway, the point is, what they do is to make it look like inflation's not as bad. They take out the numbers that would really matter, that really are inflation, things such as food or gas, obvious things. Now check this out. We've had a lot of green in the market today, and I wanted to show you this. Somebody knows something. Rumors from the ETF guys. This guy is a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. SEC are bringing in relevant parties for meetings. This hasn't happened before. In other words, they're acting like it's being floated that a Bitcoin or an Ethereum ETF could happen any minute, and that's what they're talking about. Now, we know that the FTX and SBF was on 60 Minutes last night. John Deaton's telling the truth here. With all the nonsense that came out of the 60 Minutes interview, it's perfect timing for the release of Crypto Crack Up, which actually is a truth-telling. We have to, in this country now, we have to search in different places if we can find something that's not censored for the truth in this new Soviet-style world we live in here in the United States. But that's out. Then we've got this BS from Grayscale. We're proud to announce that New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, has filed Form 19B4 with the SEC to convert Grayscale Ethereum Trust to a spot Ethereum ETF. So I asked them the natural question, which is, hey, Grayscale, remember that XRP trust you closed down when the SEC filed the Riddle case? They just lost, making XRP the only digital asset with legal clarity. When spot XRP ETF? And then, of course, Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, points out that Michael Sonnensen looks like he is a ex-JP Morgan guy. Go figure. Then this Matt Hugin guy says lots of excitement and media coverage today around ETH futures and the ETF launch, but so far very little coverage of Ethereum itself. I think Ethereum is one of the most compelling investor opportunities, and I made sure I said one big problem, Matt, ETHGate. And then I put up the video that I put up. I think that Patrick Bet-David needs to have John Deaton back on. He has a really big show. I think he needs to have John Deaton back on for two reasons. First, John's got a whistleblower in Stephen Narioff now. Second, John just wrote his memoir, which, by the way, can be a rough read. Be careful out there. Poor John. He had a rough time of it. Listen to a little bit of this. This is a clip from the Patrick Bet-David interview that he did a while back. Imagine the views this would get now with a whistleblower and a memoir.
So you have a private law firm, the Ethereum, and then you have the SEC all together in meetings?
Right. What you have is the co-founder of Ethereum, Joe Lubin, and the founder of Consensus meeting with SEC Bill Hinman and his firm is a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance.
To what end? What in what capacity? What was the reasoning for the meeting?
I think he's getting to it. The reason for the meeting is because they start lobbying for a Ethereum free pass. Right? They want to say, hey, Ethereum, yeah, we maybe did an ICO because it was the world's first ICO, but it's sufficiently decentralized. So Jay Clayton then tells Andreessen Horowitz, which is a huge investor in crypto, right? They have the 2.2 billion fund, big Ether backers. He says, write a memo up for us and tell us what you want. They write a memo and a safe harbor proposal. There are multiple meetings that take place. A secret meeting in March of 28th of 2018, and it gets leaked because there's some stuff going on in there, and they propose a safe harbor for crypto, but the only crypto they mention is Ether. And then what happens on June 14th 2018, Bill Hinman gratuitously, as director of corporation and finance, very high up at the SEC, gives his infamous speech where he says, setting aside the fundraising that took place with Ether, it is sufficiently decentralized today, and therefore current sales of Ethereum are no longer.
You get the picture. Then John Deaton had put this out today about Brian Kelly helping you teaching you how to purchase XRP back in the day. And he says, he goes on and he says, he's calling out CNBC. Claiming that 75,000 retail holders joined to sue the SEC. Yet Andrew Ross Sorkin, Becky Quick, Joe Squaw, David Faber, Carlos Quintanilla, Bob Pisani, Melissa Lee, and others have ignored the plight of the very investors that CNBC promoted XRP to in the first place. I honestly don't understand it. Is it really because Jay Clayton is a CNBC contributor and was the one who authorized the filing of the lawsuit as he was leaving the SEC? I'm sure Jay is a big enough boy that he could help handle objective reporting on something that's never happened in the history of the SEC. Tens of thousands of investors asking a judge to order the SEC to officially name them as defendants in the case. Certainly someone who served as chairman of the SEC over the largest and greatest capital market in the world could be subject to unbiased reporting over facts, not opinions. And people in MSM wonder why they have the same approval ratings as members of Congress. Here's a short clip.
Obviously down from the peaks up here, right? The whole crypto market has kind of gone sideways here. But what does Luis Yamada say? The bigger the base, the higher in space. In my view, you have to have people start using that XRP, that Ripple currency, in substitute for foreign currency, but that's the utility.
He was doing that, I believe this was in late 2017. Right about the time that everything turned and all the shenanigans began is when they stopped talking about XRP. What a coincidence. And then Patrick McHenry says, he's threatening once again. We're going to subpoena the SEC if you don't start responding to our letters and notes and talk and all this. And I say to Patrick McHenry, well, we're waiting. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I believe Brad Garlinghouse has a Starlink XRP tattoo. Thanks for listening.